Hey everybody, today we're going to turn a 3S lipo into a 4S lipo.
Five freaking onion rings, five freaking onion rings, five freaking onion rings, five freaking onion rings.
I had four 3S's and I thought that's no fun, so I'm going to do three 4S's. And I've already done one and tested it, and it works pretty well. These are ZOP lipos. I hope that focuses. ZOP lipos. It says 1500 milliamp hours. Believe me, it is not 1500 milliamp hours. Just trust me on that. But anyway, it does work pretty well. And yes, we're going to take this one apart and yeah, take it apart, add a cell, 4S lipo. 4S. It's going to be great. Great. And yeah, that's it. I've already taken this apart apparently. So yeah. Alright, cool. Gotta open the package. And this is the famous Banggood soldering iron, which I keep in a metal bowl now because that thing is hot. But in this case, it's actually useful. It's 750,000 degrees. But you will notice it'll start to glow in a little bit. So yeah, we're just going to take this apart, get all up in it. By the way, if you don't ever feel safe doing this, do not do it. It's just a bad idea if you aren't comfortable. And always wear eye protection. And if you don't believe me, watch my other video because I got a nice little scar to show for it. But it's not on my eye, thankfully. And I can show you how this happened too. So anyway, peel off the wrapper, being very careful. You don't want to damage anything. But you gotta peel it back and off. And you have a few layers here to help protect the battery. Remember that because you'll need it in the future. Actually, come to think of it, I'm putting mine on the negative terminal right here. So I'm actually not going to have to take this thing all the way apart, which will be good. Now, one of the weirder parts about this, you need a 4S. You need a 4S 4S balance lead and not a 3S. And that's actually like the hardest part of this whole deal. That and making sure your polarities are right. Other than that, not a big deal. If you notice in the background, my Banggood thing is heating up. I can feel it from here. And it's hot. Alright, now we're in the fun bits. Now, in here, what you have to do, as soon as it'll focus, what you have to do is desolder all these points, take this off, and take your negative terminal out, okay? And you're going to move the negative from this area, and it's going to go onto the new cell here, right back in that area. So it's going in the back. Now there are a couple things you need to know. Yeah, here we go. See if this is warm enough. Bring the tip. And trust me, for someone who doesn't solder very often, this is not my favorite job. And whatever you do, don't cross the terminals. Do not cross the terminals. Just run some heat here. Pull away. Oh boy, Can you see this? Oh shoot, you can't see. Yeah, now you gotta be careful not to cross the terminals. I can't stress this enough because I did it and I have a scar. And don't burn your paper either. Don't get in a hurry. Don't burn your paper. Don't cross the terminals. What do you mean don't? Shoot. Just apply a little bit of pressure and heat. And no, this probably is not the best way to do it. You'll feel it loosen when it gets warm. And I'm just applying constant pressure. And it lifts right up. Now you have one under here. And once again, you have to be very insanely careful not to cross the terminals. It will spark and it will throw solder into your face. Ask me how I know. Or better yet, watch this video that's popping up in the corner. Watch that video and you'll see how I know. Cross it, sparks. Sparks are bad. Sparks are scary. Anything that goes wrong in here is very freaking scary. Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit harder. They put that in there, man. See, the hard part here is trying to get enough of the pad on there to make it melt without touching the other piece. There we go. So 3S leads out. Alright. And now you got to take off your negative terminal because that one has to be relocated to the other side. That takes a second. It's also the hardest part to reconnect. Oh, dang. That just came right off, didn't it? Whew. Okay. Now. Plug this back in. Now, intermission time. I plugged this Banggood 60-watt soldering iron in. The second I said record, I plugged this in. And it's been on for 8 minutes now. Plugged it in, didn't do anything. Watch this. Do you see the tip? Can you see the tip? Tip right here. This red thing right here. This is the Banggood 60-watt soldering iron. It's glowing. It's been 8 minutes and that's it. And it's glowing. So if you have precision work, I do not recommend using this soldering iron. It's very good for big grunt work to take off that much solder, but it is not very good for that. Alright. So, one thing. Alright. Now, in the terminals, things you need to know. I always check, because I'm paranoid, because I've been shocked too many times and seen these things spark too many times. My guess is red, black, black, red, black, black, red, black. I don't know. That's why I test. So red to red. Alright, can you see see this here? Alright, cool. So red, black, 3.8. Positive. Okay. Black. These two are the same because they're connected. So red here, black here, 3.8, still positive. That means that's positive, this is negative. Now this, since this is negative, this is going to show me negative. That's weird. Yeah, this is negative, positive. This is positive, negative. And this is positive, negative. Positive, positive, positive. Negative. And then that's negative. So this one's reversed. I always mark which way they are with a Sharpie. And then I test them about 40 times because I get really freaking paranoid. So, negative, positive. Now this one I've labeled already, positive, negative, but because stuff goes wrong, and I did this yesterday, and I have the memory of a goat yak, it's a special type of yak, I always test it again. So, by all rights, putting down positive, negative, I get zilch. Why am I getting, there we go. I get 3.8. So, positives on the right, negatives on the left. Now, the weird part about this is how you have to connect it, since it's positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Alright, so let me reverse this. The other thing I have is double-sided tape. Just a small piece here. This is just double-sided tape to help it stay in place while I do it. Alright, so what you want here is for the positive of this terminal, positive of this one, to go to the negative here. So this will go over, it sticks on, you lean it this tab over, you solder it to this one, and then you put your negative back over here. This is a little bit tricky because it requires a good bit of solder, and since I've done this before, this is double-sided tape to help it stick in place. Exactly, and I didn't mark this time. So once again, negative, positive, going positive, negative. Alright, and I'm going to put it on here. It acts too. Now one thing I remember from my last piece that I did is the foil, this is the new one, the foil folds the other way, so it folds backwards. These fold this way, this one's folded that way. It doesn't make a difference, it just helps me remember if I ever have to replace anything. Alright, so now if you're ballsy, that's about all you do. You just put it right there. And so you just connect there, and suddenly you have bam bam, full circuit. I always put some solder on. This is a little hard to get right because it takes a bit. Because really the tab doesn't hold in as well, so you kind of have to melt it way down in. And this is where I got in trouble last time because it tended to be a jerk. Didn't want to go in, didn't want to fit. Let's try this again. Let's realign it. Push it here. This time though I'm going to use hot glue when I get everything in, and that'll help it all stick together. But it's not too bad. F4. F4, connection, solder that in, wire up my balance, bam, done. Oh, by the way, elixir of life. Now, still remembering, actually, it's not even a remember at this point. This is a cover up, which you don't want to touch, because I swear, you will touch what you don't want to touch every freaking time. And it will suck. You can't cover the whole thing of everything, but you can make it as good as you can. Now the problem with the way I just did it, that's paper, not the greatest. So we're going to move this out of the way. Still doing positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Alright. It's not the greatest because that's paper and solder can still arc, and that will cause a problem, so don't do it. But hey, you live once, right? So all you're trying to do is get this tab, just laying it down. That's actually not bad. That went far better. And one thing I always do after that, because I never have soldering jobs go that easily, I always check. Boy. Do I not have tweezers? I don't have any tweezers. Shoot. Dang. Alright. Well, heck, that worked. Put a little bit more on here. I'm impressed that worked. Now you see? It's not too bad, actually. I'm kind of impressed. So it's on. It's on there. Very good. Got a good bit of solder in. And that's going to be good. Kind of shocked. I normally have to do this 8 or 9 times. Triple check. Don't cross the terminals. Yeah, that's about as good as you're going to get. Cool. Alright. Now, the harder part is getting this piece over to here. And before you do that, I'm going to lift your tape. Easy way to check. Take your handy dandy little thing here. Alright, by all rights. Handy dandy. Negative. So we have positive over here. Do not cross an arc. Negative over here. And we get 15.2223. That means we have this one, which I can't get good. There we go. 382, negative, back to positive, and back to positive. So, as of right now, we have positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive, positive, negative. So it's, yeah, that's just how it goes. If there wasn't a PCB board, you could do it differently, but they have this one, so it doesn't line up because you have 3 cells, and the only way to get it to be good is the way they did it. And they did a good job, but it's just very annoying. Alright, so now here's the tricky part. Getting this big piece to attach to here in a way good enough to actually work. That's tricky. Tricky. And so, covering these so we don't touch anything. We don't want to touch. Putting some solder in here. See, I just load it up. Holy cow. Yep. Whatever you do, let's see, here's where you need your sticky tack. Because you're going to put a little tension on here, but you're going to reinforce it with some glue. A little bit. Hope you can see this. Anyway. Yeah. That's called me getting scared when shit goes wrong. Sorry for hiding that, but it's just a big blob of solder on it. Give it a really good tug test, because this is the part that gets ripped out. So if you wreck and this goes flying out, more than likely you're going to tear the cell, and that's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. So don't wreck, don't throw it out. Velcro your stuff down. And believe me, the only reason I would do this is because these 3S's were junk. They are just awful as 3S's. You get nothing out of them. So they were cheap, and they're really cheap for a reason. But as 4S's, at least you can get a couple minutes of fun instead of 3 minutes of boring. So when the odds are 3 minutes of boring, couple minutes of fun, you take it. Now, what's next? I need a balance lead. Alright, so far so good. So far amazingly good. I'm impressed. How are we doing? Doing alright? We are at 22 minutes. I hope this is going well. Alright, now, here's another. Alright. So we have our 4S balance lead. It's got 5 pins, five wires, 4S balance. We're going to need positive over here. I always keep red as positive because red's always been positive. It will always be positive. It's always been positive. One thing about this that I found out the hard way is that these don't line up in terms of what's long and short. So anyway, you need one here, and you can do one here, or you can do one down here. So anyway, you need one here. Your red goes here. Your second one goes on this large pad, whichever way your pad is. So since we desoldered from there, I'm going to put it back there probably. Your third one goes on this big blob up here. Your fourth one goes back here, and your fifth one goes over here. It's black. So there are 5 connections. You have to make all 5, or you won't balance, and then that will suck a lot. And the last time I did this, I had to shorten a bunch of leads and try a bunch of stuff. So let's see if we can do better. Alright, so we are going to go 1, 2, and the third one I'm going to cut, which means the fourth one, actually pause. Alright, so what I decided to do, you just push in on this little area right here. Just push in, and you can de-pin, because I don't feel like cutting as many wires. I am keeping red and black in their spot, but there's no reason why I cut if I don't have to, and I can de-pin. So, black is going to get cut, but the blue is going before. So I'm going short, 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 long. So it's going long, short, short, long, and cut. Some of these are different, so your mileage may vary. So yeah, you just push in, pull out. There's a little lever on it. You push it back in, and it's locked pretty tight. All right, and the fifth one, like I say, so I'm doing long, short, short, yellow short, white short, blue's long, and black needs to be cut. And we'll get to black when we get there. These come pre-tinned. But who cares? Um, believe me, life is too short to believe pre-tinning works from the factory. And once we get all this, we're going to reinforce it with hot glue. Some of them use foam pads. I've never seen one that used a PCB until I got this one. And I honestly can't say I like it. I like the tabs. They're so much easier to deal with. But hey, it's all good. And just so you know, that's pretty tight. And that's really tight. So yeah, it's not bad at all. And I'll probably prop that up a bit to reinforce it in the right area. And I'll be good. That's good stuff. I'm impressed. Didn't blow anything up yet. Oh shoot. Gotta turn my... One good thing about these are silicone. So they're better. The silicone is. Make sure if you buy balance leads, these were cheap. I mean, I bought like 5 of them for, or 10 of them for $2 or something. From China, of course. Of course. Not Banggood, just eBay, I think. And they were very cheap. Whew. How you know when your soldering iron's too hot? I turned this off too. Let's clean that off. Here. Yeah. Notice it's blue turning white. That tells you something. That's way too freaking hot. Oh boy. Ouch. That's warm. Okay. Now, easy part. Flip it over. Oh boy. See, if I was smart, I would just depin this, but I am not smart. Alright. Oh boy. Stuff on here. Circus Buke. Yes, Austin Powers on in the background. Hopefully I don't get a copyright flag. Let's add some solder down here. Oh, that's what's wrong. Why do I not have any room? Alright, make sure that's nice and shiny. Make sure it's tight. Do it right. You only have to do it once. Plug this back in. Like I say, this is the point where stuff goes wrong. No! You want yellow, yellow. In case you're wondering, that's a big ass blob of solder. You just have to heat it before you put the other one on, or you'll end up melting your everything. Good grief. I don't know if you can see it, but the glue's melting. Boy, the solder is. Alright, we're going to do it a different way. Fine. Okay. Alright, so now we have 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Alright. And we're down to the last, probably the hardest one. Gotta cut this one off. And if you look, I have a glowing rod again. It's a glowing rod. I don't know if you can see it, but it's glowing. getting burned. Okay. These are the coolest things ever. Now they are a Banggood invention. It's really cool. It just strips off. It was a few dollars. I was very happy with that. So we're gonna measure out to about right here. Just cut. Oh. Pray you don't get too short. So you just measure in a little bit and bloop, bam. That's awesome. It's just awesome. I love this thing. That's my favorite tool that I've gotten in a while. Just because I hate stripping wire. In case you're wondering, this soldering iron is unplugged and still that hot. So I like to get a good bit on there, especially lately. Now here's the hard part. Since this is a tab, it doesn't have very good adhesion. So trust me, you want silicone because that would have melted PVC. Ta-da! Tight, 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 tight. Alright. Nah. It's off. By the way, I did that with my soldering iron off for half an hour. No, it was off for about 5 minutes. And I don't know if you saw how hot that was, but that was hot. Alright, so tug test. I always do got my handy dandy little voltage checker. Plug in and make sure. Now one thing I have noticed, 82, 80, 881. That is called perfection. One thing with these new pins, they don't always plug in easily, so you kind of have to force them that first time. And I actually have a paraboard I use for that because it just doesn't fit the first time. Now from here, try to find my hot glue. I didn't do this on my first one, but I should have. And that hot glue is awesome for stuff like this because it doesn't conduct. It does melt, but not for a while. Alright, so we're going to pick this out, push this over. And we're just going to glue everything in place, give it a good smear, nothing shorts, and we're good. Just wrap it back up. Got good job here. Same rules, don't ever cross. Just gluing down. If you got something to smear it out, that'd be great. Yep, Alright. And the glue is just to make me feel a little bit better that nothing's going to rip off. If it does, glue's pretty easy to remove. Or it'll burn up whenever the pack explodes. You know, it's one of those fix-itself things. Whatever issue you got, it will fix itself. Yeah. Let that cool off. It's a very sharp edge. I'm really not wanting to short. The only reason for that's just so it doesn't short itself in. Yeah. That way it's kind of reinforced a bit. Might be good, might not be good. We'll find out. Love you. Alright. See, and that also protects a little bit. Just a little bit. And there you go. From this stage, wrap it. See what you can do to wrap it back up. Reminder, nothing's really going to fit in terms of wrapping it, so don't even get your hopes up there. But you can protect what you can protect in lieu. Push down. Come around. Remember, everything's made for 3S, not 4S, so you're going to have to do some squeezing. Touching, loving, squeezing. That's a shout out to my wife right there. What you have here is a piece you have to protect from damage. No big deal. It's 4S. It's 4S at bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. 15.2. It can take the stress that it normally takes. Strong enough. Yep, glue settled. I always wrap a piece of cardboard around. Since I got some glue here, I might do that. Glue. Ow! That's hot. Glue. By the way, hot glue, it's called hot for a reason. My protector is too wide. There we go. And your friend. Haha. One thing I have found with lipos, wrap tightly. The other one is anything you touch to a lipo like this, keep it separated for days until you trust it. Cause I don't want to burn anyone's house down. And finished product, Viola 14S Lipo 15.2 at a holding charge. One warning about this, make sure if you do it, make sure your cells act similarly. Some manufacturers, you couldn't mix. Definitely don't mix larger and smaller cells. These happen to come sequentially, really. I ordered four at the same time, and they all came four, and I get the exact same amount of performance out each pack. So that's why I thought these would be good candidates to run down as 4S instead of 3S to try to combine them. Um, a lot of people don't recommend this, and I can't say if I recommend it or not because I haven't done it long term, and I'm not really one to recommend something that's actually dangerous. So, um, it's up to you if you do. I would not use something that was, different manufacturers. I wouldn't use different anything. Like I say, the only reason I feel good with this one is that I ordered them at the same time and they're pretty much the same. I mean, these could have been together. They act, charge, they do everything pretty much the exact same. And I think I am done here, so I'll leave that here. And 4S out of 3S. And I appreciate you staying with me. If you hung in that far, congratulations. You got something special. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. And like I say, don't do this if you don't feel 100% safe. Uh, don't do this if you don't have a place to secure it and store it, overnight and whatnot. And other than that, don't spark it. Don't cross the terminals. Don't short it out. Don't over discharge it. Yeah, don't do anything that you wouldn't do with a normal pack. And here is Batman giving his seal of approval. Bam. Seal of approval. Good to go. By the way, the Banggood you saw, the soldering iron, this thing, I mean, I can't recommend it at all except for when you need something to melt titanium or cauterize wounds. I'm pretty sure it would be good at cauterizing wounds. If you need to sever a thigh, it would probably do that too. This is the precursor to the lightsaber. I'm just saying. It gets obscenely hot. I actually bought a dimmer switch for it. I'll be putting that up soon on how to wire it, and did that because I was supposed to be an adjustable soldering iron, but it is not. You saw it. That thing just in 8 minutes it glows. I call it Rudolph, red-nosed reindeer. Like I say, thanks a lot. If you hung in with me, wow, you must have been bored, and I appreciate it. And leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up, a like, subscription. Always be safe. Always be careful. If you can't be good at it. Stay awesome.